Hello, guys. Hello. And welcome to Hatchfoot Economics. You know what to do if you're here already. Please like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe. And I'm going to give people a few minutes to actually catch up. I know I text some people and tag some people. So, welcome. I haven't been here for a while. I have been busy, busy, busy. As many of you know, I got recently engaged January 6th to my love. You can see right here. And I host the Laws of Enchantress program, which I've been doing since May 1st. So let me just tell you a little bit right into it, because I know some of y'all complain I talk too much. So, boom. The Laws of Enchantress program is a self love, self healing program. It's comprised of me reviewing the best of the best in the industry. I actually invested a lot in various programs. So I learned from the best. I myself am a certified advanced law of attraction practitioner with Dr. Joe Vitale. And I have several other certifications for life coaching, meditation, visualization. The core of my practice is really focusing on changing your life, the law of attraction, the law of vibration, the law of positivity, and really taking yourself to the next level. What I'm so excited about that I came on this late, we have about 5 engagements. Hey Malika, we have about 5 engagements. And if you have a good experience, write the reviews here. I also have Enchantress coaching and Twin Flame coaching. I'll actually put the link, I'll try to put the link in this as I'm talking so you guys can actually see reviews. I have tons and tons of reviews on my Facebook pages. The page is Enchantress coaching or Twin Flame coaching. So why am I excited? We had our first Enchantress marriage, which just passed this March. And of course, she wants to keep her stuff confidential, but if you're a member of my page, we all know who she is. And we have Leah Love, who has her own Law of Attraction program going on, who took the Laws of Enchantress course, and she is actually getting married this April 14th. I actually partake in helping to plan that wedding. And she's getting married this April 14th. You will actually see me flying down to South Carolina for her to marry Dr. Eric. So we have so many good things happening with the Laws of Enchantress program. It's only been out since May 1st. And of course, I am currently engaged just recently. So why is the program so phenomenal? Why is it so great? Because it starts with you. It starts with you loving yourself, honoring yourself, respecting yourself, defining yourself, and truly getting to know you as a woman. Now, everybody's vibration is different. Everybody's dreams and needs are different. And there's women who are married taking the program who are benefiting from a loving, positive, really motivational environment because there's several different aspects. The really cool thing about my program, it's a lifetime program, meaning that once you pay $199, you never ever have to pay again. And it's also in conjunction with several different pages, meaning that once you join, you get access to Hatchet Life, you get access to Enchantress Fitness, which I also am working out and encouraging us to do a fitness regimen. We're actually doing our 60-day extreme Enchantress Fitness workout. So you get access to Enchantress Fitness, Enchantress Fitness and Fertility, which is a health page for Black women. You get access to Intention Experiment, which is our meditation, manifestation, visualization page. You get access to Enchantress Beauty, which is our hair and beauty page. So literally, it is like Disneyland for Black women. And I want to tell you a secret of the secret. When you focus on yourself, when you devote into yourself, when you start loving yourself as is, when you start giving onto yourself, the universe kind of shifts and makes space. It makes space for you once you start giving onto yourself. So that's the magic of it, that it's for you. It's to better you because you can only attract at the level of which you are. Then the other foundation of the program is really embracing traditional values, traditional customs, gender roles, and putting Black women back in her feminine divine space, really getting into your feminine power. And what I love about it is that it reveals to so many Black women how powerful we are by nature. Meaning that we don't have to become masculine. We don't have to become aggressive. We don't have to take on negative energy to be successful. To each their own. But so many Black women are seeing the effects of love, the effects of compassion, the effects of warmth. And it's such a magical thing. And it's also teaching, hey, how you doing? And it's also teaching you that you can be yourself, you can love yourself, you can honor yourself. You don't have to be crazy. I'll keep it real with you. You know, my program is not about an exaggerated sense. You attract at the level of which you are. And I really believe in the law of attraction, meaning that you can't over attract or under attract. You attract exactly at your level. There's women who want love, success, health, wealth. It depends what you are. You get what you're in tune with. And I truly believe that there is no limit. When I tell you character first, I actually mean it. One of my brides, or one of the girls getting married, not my bride, you know, there's different people, different ethnicities, different backgrounds. All that matters are people that are going to uplift you, people that are going to love you, people that are going to be there for you, and you form that foundation. But the most fundamental thing I want to tell my sisters is that traditional values work. We have gone too far in the modernization. Being yourself, when you see you have to do so much and step out of a bounds where you start to feel uncomfortable, that's not going to work. When you see you have to put on a show on a facade and you feel really awkward, that's not going to work. And that's why the Laws of Enchantress program has been so phenomenal and has been so successful, because it's truly getting you to vibe and really develop within your own unique feminine brand. I want to talk about something we talk about in the group. Every brand of femininity is different. You got Beyonce, who's hyper glamorous. You got Michelle, who's like college preppy. Then you got Jada Pinkett, who is like, you know, sporty. Then you got Serena Williams, who's athletic. You really have to discover yourself and love yourself to really bring yourself to your ultimate you. And it's all about you being the prize. You are the prize. You're to be courted, loved, and adored. And it's so funny because there's only one source energy. The same energy that make you successful in business is the same exact energy that'll make you successful in every part of your life. But the reason why I came on tonight is because I've been made fun of and even attacked way back in the day because I've always been a traditionalist. I always believe in gender roles. I always believed that a lot of the modernization in America didn't really suit the sisters. You know, we are so educated. We got degrees, you know, we got 2, 3 jobs, we're entrepreneurs, we're making amazing progress as black women. But the thing that really is weird is that we're making so much progress on paper, but we're becoming more and more unhappy. Our relationships are becoming more and more dysfunctional. Our communities are becoming more and more toxic. So what's the purpose? Is there ever a time in history? Thank you. If there's was there ever a time in history where we had some form of tranquility? And we did. And that's when we had gender roles. That's when we had traditionalism. I know there was extremities. I know there was not perfection on both sides. But I believe in my heart, we threw out the baby with the bathwater. My sisters are doing 2 jobs. They're working 40 hours a week, and they come home and they're still being the domestic goddess. They're not taking care of themselves. They're not putting themselves first. And a lot of black women think they can love on a masculine measure. And what does that mean? You think if you bust your ass, let me fix my seat. You think if you bust your ass, you think if you do 2 jobs, you think if you overexert yourself, the man in your life is going to say, look at my woman with one leg, one arm, and one eyeball. No, you have to pamper yourself. Men are not attracted to that masculinity. We're doing that because that's what attracts us. When our man is busting his ass, when he's protecting, leading, and providing, when he's doing that, that's attractive because that's our feminine being turned on. But when a woman does that, it's not attractive. And I challenge you on that. That's why when men become at the peak of their economic success, they're not reaching for the equivalent in financials. They're not reaching for the equivalent. They're not. You can get the most successful man. Of course, he wants his wife to have the foundational common sense and even be above average intelligence. But his prime objective is not getting a woman who is equal to him in economics. It's just not. And then we have a gap where women are not being taught to embrace their unique brand of femininity. There's so many women here who don't even believe femininity is real. And I changed my life, and so many women in my groups have changed their life. Like I said, you can look at the reviews on Enchantress Coaching. You can look at the reviews on my new channel for all women, Twin Flame Coaching, and those are all 2 Facebook pages. But what I want to tell you is something that I noticed, because you guys know I'm a nerd. And I was actually reading this article on CNN. And there's like a hidden secret the liberals don't want you to know about. Because we talk about pampering, self care. We talk about going to Sephora, going to the spa, going to Tiffany's. That's all external. While I do encourage my sisters to indulge, it's truly getting to know yourself. Hey Deb, how you doing? It's truly getting to know yourself. That's the superficial stuff. I'm not saying it's bad. Please go to the spas, go to Red Door. But it's deeper than that. There's a traditional balance that makes marriage successful. You know how there's so much calamity and there's so much destruction in marriage and there's just so much heat, it gets into a toxic. And I'm here to tell you, a lot of it is right. Because many of us are getting on the plane, putting on the parachute, and we're jumping out, hoping the parachute open. We're not being proactive. We're not making solutions. We're just complaining. I'm here to tell you something. Everything is tied. This is the most important aspect for all women, especially my sisters, but anybody listening to this. By 2053, game over. The black community is supposed to have zero economic wealth. Game over. So it's really important to understand how marriage and legacy and generational wealth ties into each other. Now I'm going to say something very controversial that make some of my followers unsubscribe. My fiance is Caucasian. But just because my fiance is Caucasian, I do not sit here and tell you that you have to date white or you got to date black. All I care about is if your man is doing good for you. Two of my Enchantress members are marrying African American men or got married African American men. Actually, the first bride got married to an African American gentleman. Wonderful guy. I met him myself. Thank you. I told you I'm going to keep changing. Wonderful guy. I met him myself, and that's all I want. I truly believe in my hearts of hearts. Once you heal yourself and you make a culture of continuous healing, once you fill yourself with love, you don't got to keep harping on the negativity in any demographic because you attract at the level of which you are. You can go to my Connie Loren Walker Facebook page right now. My Facebook page is 100% public. I constantly post images of black couples and black this, and I get so many messages in my inbox saying, aren't you with a white guy? I'm like, yeah, but that doesn't mean I don't want my sisters and my good brothers who can be in happy relationships not to be with each other. It's not about the color. It's not about the complexion. It's about the affection and the respect. So I want love and prosperity for all. And I don't say it and not mean it. I will show you pictures of Denzel Washington and Pauletta. I'll show you pictures of Michelle Obama, Will Smith, because to say it and only show an image of me and Jason, that's false. Because they become the prize. I don't show predominantly image of any man because the man becomes the prize. And you start missing the characteristics. What's the use to open up your options if you don't open up your expectations? What's the use to level up if you don't level up your accountability? What's the use to put on makeup and go to the gym if you're not dating and courting for a reason? And I truly think somewhere in the middle, we as black women got caught up in this extreme feminist movement where we don't need to be. Let them handle that because we are doing everything, but they're not. A lot of them are talking the talk, but when they get ready, that marriage train is right on time. That husband train is right on time. Statistics and Pew Research do not lie. While they're telling you to go out there and do the slut walk with Amber Rose, and they're telling you to go out there and sell your ass, check the statistics. Non-black women are married by 80%. And we're doing everything modern. We're doing everything. We're not getting married. We're being independent. You don't hear Mary J. Blige talk about she don't want to take care of no more men's. And Mary J. Blige been singing since I was in the 5th grade. Sisters, it's not that complicated. But I want you to know how I keep things fact-based. And the reason my Laws of Enchantress program is not even a year old, but we got 5 real engagements. When I say engagements, I mean ring, wedding date, wedding planning, engagement halls are booked. That's it. We're not talking about the hood engagements where, weddings are planned, books as invitations are sent out, engagement rings are at least a 2-carat and over. Families have met. We got private pages, private spaces. And we're not saying marriage is the end all be all because marriage is work. All of my girls, including myself, go to marriage counseling, pre-marriage counseling. We encourage that to make it as healthy as possible. We discuss it. We invest in these coaches, in these courses. That's why it's so impressive. And you know my sisters don't play with their money. You know, if people take my program and it's crap, they'll be the first person to come on here and be like, I'm taking their money. I have tons and tons. But the most important thing, I'm going to be honest with you, I shouldn't say this, but my most favorite person, one of my favorite people, I'll say one, is one of my enchantresses, Ashley. And I won't say her last name because I have several Ashleys, but she take my program and she truly started to love herself in such a way it made me tear up. She started to see herself for the beautiful black woman that she is. She left a relationship that didn't have the best opportunities for her. She changed her life and she started to focus on herself. She moved away and she's truly rebuilding herself. And she did that through the program, through the positivity, through the love, the compassion, the sisterhood, in that small connectivity, in that small collective. And to me, that's the most important thing, is not just rushing towards the relationship, but asking the sisters, how are you doing? How are you feeling? What are you experiencing? What's going on with you? Before you put somebody together. Because like I told people, I got a secret. Two broken people can't make a whole relationship. Two broken people cannot make a stable relationship. You can't make a foundation built on top of broken bricks. You really have to focus on yourself and put that into play. That's right, Deb. Deb is in the group. So I want to read you something that the liberals are hiding, even though it's on a CNN. So you know I like to get my facts. So I don't know how I got on this, because I do constant research. That's a good thing about my program. I do constant, real-time, fact-based research, and that's why the program is so successful for healing, transformation. That's why 5 girls are engaged. We already had 1 marriage, and I will personally be going to a wedding, which will be showing on April 14th, which is Lay of Love. And, I found something by mistake, and I'm going to show you. Well, I'm going to read it to you. So this is CNN. And CNN had a piece on arranged marriages. And it says that Indian millennials are choosing arranged marriages. So even when they come to this country, even when they become doctors and lawyers, a lot of Indian millennials are still going towards arranged marriage. So I'm like, who in their right mind would do that? And they're saying that it's not what Americans think. You don't just throw somebody in a room, they talk for 20 minutes, and now you're married. They said there's a lot of misconceptions on the people who make the modern choices. So basically, it has modernized, but the traditional norms are still there. They did talk about a rapid cultural change, but they're saying that you need to have family. You need to have structure. You need to know what's my role and what's his role. You need to know what's the expectations, and they prepare. This is something they prepare their whole life for. So they're saying, even though they're modern, they're living in America, nobody's putting a gun to their head. This is CNN. This is not the fringe of social media. And she said they trust their parents to vet this and that, and even then, they can still date. But it's different. They're courting, meaning that they're specifically courting for marriage. Now, why am I bringing this up? You're not Indian, I'm not Indian. Because we can go back to tradition. Right now, I truly believe, especially for sisters, it's a lot of chaos, it's a lot of nonsense, and it's a lot of fluff. It's a lot of, I don't want to curse because I don't want it to get banned, but it's a lot of craziness that's happening that's completely not necessary. Focus on you. Drop the dead weight. Stop getting involved in drama. You saw how I chilled out for a while? Because I said I got me a good man. I'm traveling. I'm enjoying life. I'm in love. I needed to stay in my feminine, delicate energy to balance out my man's alpha male. I didn't want to come on here and be combatant. Now, I came back with a 3-carat diamond ring, planning my wedding, getting married in Jamaica, June 2020. So many guests. I'm having a big one and it's international. So I had to give my guests some time to save money because I wasn't paying for them airplane tickets. And it's not about the fact that Jason is some rich man, but Jason is a traditional man. Thank you. Thank you so much. Jason's a traditional man. And I hate to tell my sisters outside of certain demographics, I'm going to say it again, might hurt some feelings. Outside of certain demographics, that's completely normal. Most men want to be a protector and a provider. Most men want to be the head of the household. Only in the freaking jing jang bang dusty places, which goes across all demographics, you're going to find that. Like, for instance, when I went down south to visit Leia to do her bridal shower, to help her plan her wedding, I was shocked. I'm not going to lie because I don't really go down to Georgia or South Carolina. I was shocked at how many gentlemen were coming up to me, talking to me, engaging me, decent men. So I'm not trying to take shots, but if you're hanging out in questionable areas or you're hanging out in places where socioeconomics is kind of shaky, of course you're going to find perhaps not the right guy. If you go to any negative social demographic where the income is not good, where the crime is high, where jobs is scarce and education is very thin, it don't matter where you go. It could be Mississippi or Brooklyn. But a lot of us just don't get that. We just don't get that. When you travel and start getting stamps on your passport, your life changes. Oh yeah, exactly. Thank you, Carter. So that's what I'm telling you. Stop focusing on what you don't want. Start focusing on what you do want. Stop putting so much time and energy talking about the same things day in and day out that don't uplift your life. Stop it. I'm telling you right now, you're not going to get anywhere. If you make a decision that you don't want a certain thing, make a decision and shut up and move on and focus on the positivity. Change your life. It is March 2019. It is St. Patrick's the 17th. You have only 9 full months. I keep telling my sisters. And why do you think Indian people who are educated, Indian people who come to this country and they're doctors, lawyers, whatever the hell they are, mostly medical, engineers and science and techs, these are not dumb people. Why would they opt? So I'm reading this opinion piece from CNN. Arranged marriages, they're not as unfortunate as you think. The idea of promising to spend your entire life with another person is nothing short of daunting. But it says arranged marriages can be successful or even more successful than American marriages. It says parents arrange a marriage and it works out extremely well. While the misconception is that arranged marriages fail, the majority of arranged marriages are successful. How do they grade success? Longevity, lack of divorce, mental wellness, and physical fitness. So they actually look to see the physical fitness. Are you dying of a heart attack? Are you passing away at a stroke? Are you guys getting hypertensions and heart pressures? Or they're looking to see the financial stability. Are you living in poverty? Then they're looking to see how you pass down generational wealth. And I'm not telling you to become Indian and put a turban on your head, but as black women, we were there once. We had some type of stability. It might not have been perfect, but what we're doing now, we have thrown out the baby, the tub, the shower, the sink, the freaking fans, the paint, the flowers in back of me. We have thrown everything out with the bathwater, and we've been left with utter chaos and suffering and just a lot of calamity. And it doesn't have to be that way. When I went to Georgia and I was in Buckheads, it was my first time in Buckheads, like really being through Buckheads. And there were so many black couples pushing expensive strollers, going into mansions, tons and tons of black men, black women walking around like Mr. Rogers' freaking neighborhood. Sun is shining, birds. I seen black housewife walking around, taking the groceries out the back of the car, husbands at work. It was so moving that one day when me and Leia was driving, I took out my cell phone and said, look, sisters, look, this is how, it's really how you project yourself. It's really where you put your attention. When you truly open up yourself to love, when you truly open up yourself to be respected and you feel these things from the inside, it's almost impossible to attract the negativity. But you keep attracting the negativity because you can't stop talking about it, you can't stop thinking about it. You keep attracting drama because you keep yourself connected. And while you can have fun, you laughing at this one, you laughing at that one. This person's getting married. I'm moving to England to a nice house. I'm gonna be coming back and buying this and that. You could, I'm telling you, while you letting people drag you into their shit, some of these people going home to their husband, some of these people going home to their Mercedes Benz, while you letting people confuse you because they already got their shit together. They turn off this YouTube, they turn off this Facebook, and they're good. They're good. My main focus is my relationship, my fiance, focusing on being the best wife that I can, focusing on investing in more courses, more coaching, and sharing this wealth with my sister. That's my focus as a woman, because it even transcends race, because there's a war going on. Oh yeah, Sandy, I went to Buckhead. Black people living like kings. Black men and black women. I was shocked. I was just seeing acres and acres of houses. I went the houses down south, them is houses. I'm not talking about a little minky finky. I'm talking about nice. Because in the warm weather they can build better. Because up here in the northeast we got cold, and I've seen so many affluent. Meanwhile, there's somebody living in Bushwick. So you said, is the reality generational wealth unlimited? Well, the problem with generational wealth is that you have to have a generation to pass down. We can't have 77% of black women having children out of wedlock with generational wealth because the line is broken. You can't have a legacy if you're not, it's very hard. You're not talking about divorce, you're talking about never gotten married. So that's what I'm saying, is that we can literally change this overnight and you can know what to do. But I'm here to tell my sisters, traditional is the way. There's a reason why several people in the Laws of Enchantress program are engaged, and we're having 2 marriages back to back. One just happened just past March, and I'm actually physically getting on a plane to go to the first official wedding for the Laws of Enchantress program, because that person had a private marriage. This is going to be a big boom ba rah wedding. And the crazy thing is that it's not as complicated as sisters think. You don't have to transform yourself. To each their own. You don't have to do all this crazy stuff. And I want to challenge you to spend 2 weeks focusing on only what you want, talking about what you only want. Something interesting, because Leia's a master of the law of attraction. Leia has her own program. She has her own online expert dating, because she killed the online. She found her fiance on a dating site. I forgot the name. I think it's Elite. But she knows how to navigate that shit like a figure skater. So that's a good program. But the short story is, Leia, she really zoned in on what she wanted. The most dramatic thing she did when she took Elite Singles, thank you, Michaela. The most dramatic thing she did was that she got rid of her old Facebook. And it's not easy. We get attached to our Facebook. When Facebook went down for a couple of hours, we lost our goddamn mind. So we get attached to Facebook. And she realized that she was talking about a lot of negative things. That when she got onto the Facebook, it was a lot of drama, negativity, newsfeed, negativity, angry, fighting. And she actually deleted her entire old Facebook. And I didn't tell her to do that. But the message I gave to her, she knew she couldn't really resonate with it if she did not detach from the old. So she made a personal decision based on her mastery of law of attraction, based on her intelligence, and said, I can't get what I want if I keep looking at and talking about what I do not want. And that's where the Laws of Enchantress program worked for her, because she applied it beautifully. And that's a skill set you can learn from her. So when she had almost 5,000 people. How many of us would delete a Facebook with 5,000 people? Not many of us. But she deleted it, and she started her Facebook. She started following Better Homes and Garden. She started following curtains, decorating, Home Depot. She started following flowers, and I'm talking about feminine shit. And she stopped focusing on the drama. She started talking about home decor, really getting into decorating a house. She said, Connie, I feel like a regular woman. When I log into my Facebook, she said, Connie, I don't feel the stress. And so many of us have no idea subconsciously how much negative programming subconsciously we are taking in from our Facebook. There's a Pew Research study, PEW, you can look it up, on the subconscious conditioning of Facebook. It could be positive or it could be negative. But many of us, we are bombarded with negativity from Facebook. They know exactly where you're going to do, what you're going to say. That's why Facebook is rich. Facebook does nothing but look at your algorithm. They predict where you're going to do, what you're going to buy. And that's why people pay billions of dollars. They have information on you. So if you don't make an effort to be positive and engage in positivity, you can really affect your expectations and your belief system by looking at the same shit, by looking at broken marriages, broken relationships, dysfunction, abuse, crimes. Just really lower your vibration. So she had to make that personal decision and delete an entire page of almost 5,000 people. That's a big step. And she did that on her own. Because that's her mastery. I didn't even think about doing that. And literally, in 4 months of her dating her boyfriend, he proposed. And he's a doctor. There's Pew research that shows there's more suicides happening. There's more bullying happening. There's more violence happening. Because nobody has really made an etiquette for online. Online developed so rapidly that people are saying and doing shit they wouldn't do in close proximity. And most of it is negative shit. And it's really destroying the minds of women. We're seeing a lot of stuff online that we think is real, and it's not. Because what I tell black women is every relationship need is different. Every romance is different. And what you have to stop overemphasizing is prosperity and abundance. Because outside of these negative demographics, most men, most normal men do want to provide for you. I'm not talking about a billionaire, a millionaire, because that is your vibration. You attract at the level of your vibration. If you got the vibration to attract a millionaire, so you will. If you got the vibration to attract a billionaire, you will. But I'm not going to sit here. Your success is depending upon you and how you apply it. Just like how Leia applied it. She knew exactly what she wanted. She had that vibration. She had that frequency. And she executed that shit like a samurai. That's why I give her mad props. Same thing with the other young lady that wants to keep confidential for now. Same thing with the other young lady that got engaged. And they did it in a shorter period of time. They did it effectively and efficiently. Same thing with women that are leaving abusive relationships. Same thing with women that are going into ventures, starting their own business. We going to bartending school, getting their real estate license. Everybody's vibration is different. It is not ethical for me to tell you, yeah, you're going to get a Jason, or yeah, you're going to get a Dr. Eric, or yeah, you're going to get an XYZ. You're going to get what you're in tune, what you expect, and what you work for, and what you hope to maintain. Because getting the person is just one half. You have to be committed. You have to keep that vibration. And if you're doing anything artificial, like I said to my sisters in Laws of Enchantress, seduction does work. You can do seduction. You can do tricks. But can you keep it up? What happens when he realizes that it's not really love, it's seduction? What happens? And I want to talk about something very sensitive that I get a lot of messages about. And I'm going to say it just like that. Stop saying secure the bag. If you carry yourself a certain way, if you have a certain self-respect, if you command a vibration, you don't really have to worry about attracting guys who are not worthy. If you demand to be courted, if you demand to be vetted, and what I mean by demand, we're talking about your feminine essence. You don't got to keep harping on what you hope you're not going to get, because that's basically saying that's what you're used to getting. That's like me going to Dunkin' Donuts and screaming, y'all got donuts up in here? Of course they got donuts. Calm down, miss. Pick a flavor. But when you walk around and you're constantly talking about securing the bag, prosperity, abundance, you're telling the whole world that you are not used to this. Because if I went to Buckhead's And I was dating in Buckheads, and I would talk the way I hear some women talk in real life and in social media and just on any platform, any proximity. They would know that you're a woman who's not used to having it. It's just like when somebody get paid and they take out $500 in ones and they want to go, they want to just take the money and fan themselves. They're not used to having it, so they got to hype it up. And I'm not saying if you're not used to being treated well, lie. Tell that shit to your sisters in Red Lobsters when y'all having a lobsterita and when y'all went shopping at the mall and y'all chilling. Not everybody needs to know you weren't treated well. Not everybody needs to know your sob story. Not everybody needs to know. Everybody's not your therapist, and definitely the guy you're trying to date is not your therapist. There's a place and time for everything. Have some guile about it. Have some guile about it. That's not how you do it. And what I'm trying to tell you is that there is a place and time. You can't be broadcasting to the whole world how you get treated like trash, nobody likes me, nobody respects me, and you think this kind of violin shit is going to make these guys come here and sweep you off your feet. It's exactly the opposite. Men are wired to be attracted to what's covetable, to what is hard to have, to what is something they can brag about and feel good about. They don't want the stuff that nobody else don't want, so stop telling people your sob story. That's the first step. Even some females will look at the phone and be like, damn, it's Connie again? Every time I speak to Connie, it's some shit. Let me make that shit go to voicemail. Let me let that shit go to voicemail. Or you texting somebody and the text message is 95 pages. You act like that person ain't got nothing to do all day but sit down and read your Holy Quran, your Bible texts for 65 pages. Like the person ain't got nothing better to do. They will just open that text message and close that shit back. You have to learn to really take a step back and realize you are fully accountable for your happiness or your sadness. You are fully accountable for what you allow in your life. But you have some people, whether it's your family, your best friend. It's tough because there's some girls in my program and they're changing their life and they're shocked at the reaction from friends, family, people that were close to them, because certain people have committed themselves to low vibration. Certain people have committed themselves to negativity. And guess what? This is America. This is America. You have the right to make a choice in where you want to follow. But once they make their choice, what they don't got a right to is pull you down with a negativity anchor. They don't have a right to pierce the lifeboat and strand you on the negativity Titanic. It is 2019. You only got 9 full months of the year to invest in yourself in every single way possible. I know some of us like to look at Becky and say, why would I follow that? Becky's winning. Becky is not winning by some Harry Potter shit. It's not magic. It's not a wizard. Becky takes the time to invest in spa treatments. When I was going to coaching seminars, when I was literally going to physical feminine seminars and taking this information back and sharing with my sisters in Laws of Enchantress what I learned and teaching us as a consensus how to apply this. When I was physically going to these centers, I saw so many Beckys, and I'm not hating on them. God bless them. They were doing everything possible. Femininity classes, femininity workshops, feminine retreats, Bali, Maldives. They love therapy. They cat get therapy. They dog get therapy. They have no limit. If they know it's something they can do to better themselves, they'll invest the crap in every which way. They don't mess around. How are you going to compare yourself to someone who has no limit in investing themselves? I even was passing by New York. I was passing by the South Street Seaport, and they had some Afrocentric ceremony. And I seen a white woman with the gold chains, the yellow outfit on her face, look like she was getting baptized into some type of religion right there in New York. And while y'all want to talk crap, guess what? She's willing to do everything in her power to keep herself at a feminine energy. You don't believe me? Just go on Google right now and type in the word feminine workshops and see the price. 1,000, 2,000. I went to Abraham Hicks. I went to Hay House. You want to know how expensive these things are? And not only is it expensive, you don't see no color. I was so desperate, I would have even took a Japanese or a Chinese. You saw no color. And these people are going to these feminine retreats. They're going to Bali. They're going to the Maldives. They're flying on the Emirates. They're doing all kinds of feminine retreats. And they consistently keep this up. They invest in themselves. They make sure they go to Equinox. They make sure they go to all these high-end gyms, these fitness centers. They make sure they're going to Lifetime or whatever it is. They make sure they put themselves first, second, and third. It's not magic because if you put, let me tell you something. If you put yourself first, no one can put you last. If you make yourself a priority, no one can make you an option. The love starts with you. The love vibration, the love frequency starts with you. I know many beautiful black women with banging ass bodies because I do Enchantress coaching. Look on it for Facebook, Enchantress coaching. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's one girl I coach. I told some of my friends, I can't tell her what your name is, but I'm just saying, she looks 10 times better than Halle Berry. Her body is banging. I'm not no homo. Her body is banging. She should have no problem. She got over 1 million followers. When she called me for coaching, I was like, wait a minute. You sure you're not supposed to be coaching me? Because sister, wow. Like, but when she talked about she didn't love herself, she said she was listening to me one time and I talked about looking in the mirror and saying, positive affirmations. I love myself. I believe in myself. I am worthy. I am intelligent. I am special. When I said look in the mirror and make eye contact and tell yourself that you deserve to be loved and adored, she told me she literally started crying and had almost a nervous breakdown and sat on the bathroom floor for almost 2 hours sobbing. And I said, why? And she said, Connie, I spent so much time on my outside. She has a strict diet. She's a bikini model. She's into fitness, perfect body, perfect hair, nice ebony rich, smooth skin. But she never took a day to figure out who she was. Never took a minute to feel herself from the inside. And she got in a relationship with a guy who probably wasn't the best man for her. And he really took her for a spin. And she ended up having a baby. And he left her. And I said, not to be nosy, may I ask why that relationship came to an end? And she said, well, he's not attracted to pregnant women. I was like, what? She said, yeah, we got engaged, but as I was pregnant. And I just want to tell you something. I wish I can show you who this beautiful sister is. She had a better body than me when she was pregnant. I'm going to let you know right now. She just had arms, legs, and she was just a belly. She had no back fat, no rubbing thighs. She didn't break out. She didn't get no acne. Literally, this guy left her because he wasn't attracted to the pregnant form. How does your fiance leave you because he's not attracted to the pregnant form? Well, that's what happens when you are conditioned by the society and by people, by your family, your friends, the newspaper, the magazines, social media. That's what happens when they tell you to put so much overemphasis on your outside. Am I telling you not to lose weight, not to go to the gym, not to go to dermatologists? Am I telling you not to go on Groupon and get that package for microdermabrasion and a chemical peel? Absolutely not. Go on Groupon. Get those coupons. Go get your spot. But you can't stop there. And you shouldn't be starting there. You cannot be foolish enough to think that pretty women don't get dumped. That beautiful women don't get left. That women that got flat stomachs and nice, what I'm saying, and nice down there, you know what I'm saying? You can't be that naive to think these women have no problems. You know how Biggie said, more money, more problems, more beauty, more problems. There's no difference. More beauty, more problems. Some women be gold diggers, some men be beauty diggers. And it balances out in the same bullshit tsunami. It's not that simple. So this is, in my group, we got Enchantress Beauty. In my group, we have a whole page dedicated to fitness. In my group, we have another page dedicated to fitness and health problems for black women. A whole page. But that's not where you start. You start within you. How are you doing? How are you feeling? How do you see yourself? Because if you saw this sister I'm talking about, she is banging. And you'll be shocked she was having problems. But the guy she picked, not trying to be an asshole, but it wasn't rocket science that this guy was doing this. I mean, come on. I took a look at the guy, it was pretty obvious. But when you see Indian marriages, traditional marriages, there's a certain balance. And so many black women are conditioned and they lie to themselves and they gaslight themselves. I like to talk about gender roles in Laws of Enchantress. And a lot of women give me pushback and say, well, you need you need two incomes. I can't stay home. Really? Because a lot of you guys don't have two incomes and the world hasn't come to an end. A lot of y'all making it work. My parents did it. A lot of y'all making it work. How you have a whole human being and nothing changed in your life economically. And the men that say that's not for them, guess what? That's not for them. Don't argue with them. But if you do the research on your own, if you read on your own, you will clearly see that having that balance in the household, having that roles in the household really helps to keep marriage healthy. It's not that complicated. Why do you think Indian people, let me read it to you. Why are so many Indian marriages successful? Okay, during my +2 decades living in the United States, I've seen many changes in native India, but modern marriages are not catching on. It hasn't changed. Indian arranged marriages. Even today, a vast majority of Indians and Indian Americans, including my friends, highest educated, westernized, choose arranged marriage over free choice. So these people are doctors, masters, PhDs, they're Americanized, they're eating pork, they're eating hot dogs, they're doing all kinds of things. Why do you think men and women in this country are choosing to do this, even though they're modernized? So it says they have modernized the arranged marriage. It's not like you don't know each other. But they get, I guess, matchmaking. In my opinion, it's matchmaking. Nobody's forced, but your family has this family, and y'all handpick people who you think will be a good match for one another. That's my cat, sorry. But the most amazing thing is these marriages work. It says 74% of young Indian Americans prefer an arranged marriage over a free choice one. Other sources report that 90% of all marriages are arranged. So I want to talk to you about it. It's not just, oh, he got to have money, or oh, it's a business transaction. It's not a business transaction. They still have to meet. They still have to like each other. Some of them court for 6 months to a year. But the thing is that there's a heavy emphasis, there's a good idea that you and this guy or you and this girl gonna think alike. You and this, like, yeah, my cat's always going crazy during my talks. Like my Laws of Enchantress ladies know this is, Gigi is, I don't even see him. I don't see him. Oh, he looks really angry. I think he wants some treats. Come here. Why are you so mad? He's just super angry. His eyes is black. Okay. I'm coming, Gigi. Oh, Lord. Gigi's always doing this to me, right? So, what you have to understand is that, oh, everything's done. The wedding planning is done. The dress is bought. We're going to get married in Jamaica. Everything's booked. We're just waiting. We're actually going to go in May, this May. I'm going to be going to Jamaica. We're going to be looking at the church in person, and we're going to be looking at the resort. I stayed there before, so I know the resort. Jason hasn't been. So we're just going to go and do a final walkthrough and get everything situated. But people that are in my group are already invited. The guest list is up. The RSVP is up. So yes. So this May, you're going to be, if you're in my group, you're going to actually be seeing us go to Jamaica to take a look at the church. The church is in Kingston. As you guys know, I'm Roman Catholic, so I have to get married in the church. And I want to. I do want to get married and honor my faith. But we're going to be having the reception on the resort in Jamaica. So it's going to be really nice. It's going to be in June. I got time to slim down because this loving, very very nice relationship. It gets you very thick very fast, and Jason's very generous. Lots of dinners and Prosecco. So I know I've actually invited girls from the Laws of Enchantress program. I have a separate page called Jason Marries His Connie, a very intimate page that shows our entire relationship, traveling pictures back and forth when he proposed. And now we have the entire link up, um, so everything's there. So if you join the page, I keep it kind of private. I don't want the entire world to see my RSVP, but definitely my girls know, and they'll be seeing me. I'm actually going to spend about 3 weeks in England. He's taking me to Paris for my birthday, and this cat is scratching the crap out of me. Okay, okay, come over here. Come. I'm sorry, guys. A cat's trying to scratch me. His claws. He's not declawed, but he knows it, and he's like hooking my jeans. But yeah, it's a wonderful process. I really wish it was close. We wanted to do it this year, but people were arguing. People said, "Wait a minute, we can't afford to fly so soon," because we kind of forgot that you know people have to pay for their tickets and stuff. So giving people time to save for their tickets and their hotel, either way. So having it in Jamaica, where my side of the family is much bigger, and we're trying to decide who didn't have to fly the most. It doesn't make sense if there's like 300 people in Jamaica, but only 50 people in England. It doesn't make sense for 200 people to go to England, with 50, whatever. We had to decide that because I really wanted to get married in England because that's where I'm going to be living. So we're probably going to do a second, smaller ceremony for those who couldn't make it. So, yeah, I'm excited. Don't get me talking about my wedding, but, you know, it's really, it's really something to see that these Indian weddings who we talk about, and they did a study, a Pew Research study, and it says these Indian marriages were just as satisfied with their marriage and loved as intensely as those who wed through free choice. So a lot of people talk about these arranged marriages as if they are a business. It's absolutely not. It is a balance of prosperity and affection, because you can't have prosperity if your wife is burning your ears every night. You can't have prosperity if your husband is beating your ass. Okay, it is a balance, and this is what I push for, sisters. There's a balance. It doesn't have to be one extreme to the other. You can meet in the middle ground. You can have prosperity and love. You can have abundance and affection. It's not a dream. You just have to be proactive. You have to be smart. You can't shit on marriage your entire existence and then think when you're ready to get married, you haven't prepared for it, you haven't focused on it, you haven't taken any courses, you don't go to premarital counseling, you don't do anything. No research, no data, nothing. And you just throw two people together, of course you're going to have chaos and calamity. That's like you jumping out of a plane and never practicing sky jumping. And when your ass goes splat on the concrete, you're like, why did this happen? You have to prepare for anything in life that you want to be good at. Why is marriage the exception? You have to be proactive. The real fairy tale, in my opinion, is not preparing, dating, what I call in Laws of Enchantress, toxic dating, where you learn toxic habits, where we talk about this cutting off phenomenon, where you don't learn how to have communication skills, persuasion skills, and listening skills. All these things prepare you for a healthy marriage. But we're in this whole agenda. I'll be cutting people off. Every New Year's, you see the post, I'm cutting people off. And I'm not going to lie, there's certain people that you might want to exit out, but we have glamorized cutting people off like it's a master's or a PhD. We do not idolize keeping relationships, nurturing relationships, learning how to say sorry, learning how to have compassion, learning how to part, in a peaceful manner. So you live your whole life, you want a husband, but you can't even keep one female friend. You want a healthy relationship, but you can't have a healthy social relationship with the same gender. Good luck. But that's what I'm saying. We don't prepare. We're not proactive. And even after you get married, it's the level of maintenance of putting each other first, loving each other first, and truly for the rest of your life, keeping yourself on the evolutionary path. Keep developing, keep growing as individuals and separate people. That's why I've always been a traditionalist, and it's been so challenging me to date, because I believe in my heart tradition works. I believe in my heart gender role works. And I've seen too much evidence that everything else has a higher chance for misery, divorce, and chaos. And ignoring the facts, ignoring the statistics, ignoring the abundance of data that is out there, that's the real fairy tale. Ignoring the fact if you get married with no support structure, that's a fairy tale. Ignoring the fact that if you get married, you don't go to premarital courses, you don't sit down with your husband and talk about finances, child rearing, you don't talk about what you're going to do in the marriage, what's his role, what's your role. That's the real. Getting married and y'all got separate bank accounts, he don't know your pin, you don't got his pin, y'all still talk on cell phones in separate rooms, he's hiding his cell phone from you, you can't pick up. That's the fairy tale because you are not unified. My mother taught me something because she's been married for over 42 years. And she taught me something very special. I'll give you a little bit Laws of Enchantress. She said, marriage is a magnifier. It's not magic. All marriage does is magnify and intensify what you already have. So if you have a good husband, a good wife, and you got two people who are dedicated, that's going to magnify. If you got two people who are completely different, completely this and completely that, and they're separate, that's going to magnify. Marriage doesn't transform. It's not magic. It just intensifies whatever commitment and relationship you are already doing. And that's the truth. This is coming from somebody who's been married for 40 years, my parents. And that's why it bothers me. You know, it's not what you think. It's not like they go into an arranged marriage and they don't know each other. They never saw each other. They don't have an idea of the person. In fact, they take it very seriously. They have an idea of the person. Their parents have an idea. It's not just about money because now they don't, this is America. If you do something stupid, she'll walk away. The topic is the Laws of Enchantress, and we're talking about marriage, the success in the group, the weddings, just but the Laws of Enchantress program, and also we're talking about arranged marriages and why are they successful? Because I hear a lot of buzz about, well, arranged marriages, it's just a business. It's absolutely not. These Indian people, if you were to go and tell them your marriage is a business, they would be insulted. Because it's more to them than that. They want the women to be loved, protected, and provided. They have a balance. But they make sure before you even start talking about love, you can protect and provide. They make sure before you start talking about love, that woman can actually nurture and actually encourage that man. So this is something they talked about that was very unique. For those of us who talk about securing the bag. How do I say this? Even if, this is what they were saying, because I read a very spiritual part of this Indian tradition. I'm trying to put it into words. They basically were saying, you can't use a man to patch up your failure as a woman. Very intense. They're not saying that as a woman, it's wrong to pursue a prosperous man. Let me make that clear. But if you're pursuing him merely to compensate for not being able to give yourself the basics, and I'm not talking about living like him. There's nothing wrong with marrying up in hypergamy. They agree with that. But Indians have a lot of spirituality to them. And they truly believe if you marry a man with this negative financial aura, with this negative aura of you just want, you have no inclination, you have no intention of bringing abundance, even in ambiance, even in spirit. You have no desire to encourage him and maximize his financial potential. These women can be destructive. Think about the women that marry the guy, have no intention of staying around. I'm going to take half. Those women don't see if they really were to invest in those marriages, they can have an empire, they can have a legacy, they can have generational wealth. They don't think on that because that's the true poverty vibration. You think in short term. You got to think about long term. And this is how people become blue bloods. This is how people build superior generational wealth because they think for the long term, not just what they can get now. So they want women, even if they're not in that same economic financial bracket, they want women who are aligned and flowing with that vibration. Women that want to maximize their man's potential by nurturing him, encourage him, supporting him, being that feminine retreat, having that ambiance and that energy in the house. So that's what I'm saying. There's a big difference between a woman who says, I want a prosperous man because I'm going to support him and be there for him and bring that positive energy. I'm going to believe in him so we can get to higher levels, so we can truly pass down generational wealth, so we can build an empire, we can have a legacy. But that's a true prosperity vibration. A lot of women don't have that. A lot of women are attracting these guys on a poverty vibration. And when they get these men, they can't maintain them. They can't inspire them. They can't enhance them. They can't encourage them. They can't do anything to align with them and bring them to the new level. That's the power of feminine energy, like a Michelle Obama, like a Jada Pinkett, like a Paulette Washington. That's the power of a feminine divine, when they can align with that masculine alpha energy and really fill their man up and really encourage their man. But it takes a special type of woman. Not these women who see the guy, oh, I'm a divorce in 2 years. That's not generational wealth. That's present day wealth. You're not going to pass down Gucci bags and red bottoms. You're not going to pass down Yves Saint Laurent and Louis Vuitton. You're going to pass down bonds, stocks, real estate. You're going to pass down gold, liquids, cryptocurrency. I don't know. You're going to pass down real assets. Not what you put your ass in. You're going to pass down, property, not Louis Vuitton, not Christian Dior, not shopping sprees at Saks Fifth Avenue. Now, I'm not saying you can't have that to a certain degree. But before you worry about what designer and spring fashion wear, you need to make that foundation generational wealth. You need to be focused on true wealth. And so many women want out of a sense of lack. And I'm telling you right now, if you're doing anything out of a sense of lack, out of a sense of not giving to yourself, you run a very high risk of losing what you just attracted into your life. And that's why loving yourself, having an expectation of yourself, that's why honoring yourself and not just wanting, but expecting and believing and deserving in what you have is imperative. And that's why that's the core of my Laws of Enchantress program. So I don't want to go too long. If you want to meet me on Laws of Enchantress, you can just look up the Laws of Enchantress. I have a free page, completely free, so you can see all about the programs and get the schedules. We're actually doing $199, and it's a lifetime admission to all of everything I have. We got payment plans as well, so once you join, you never pay again. I have Enchantress coaching page, and I also have Twin Flame coaching page, so you can actually go on there and read reviews of success stories of real sisters. So hopefully this inspired you. If you have any questions about the links of Indian arranged marriages, after I load this video, I will actually post the links from CNN and Psychology Today. Thank you guys for listening, and I will see, hopefully, you guys on the Laws of Enchantress page. Bye-bye, guys.